AR upgrades you might want to consider. Hey everybody, I'm Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Today we're going to talk about common sense upgrades for the AR-15 rifle. What should you do? How you should do it? What you should think about? What kind of role do you want it to fill? And all the other things associated with that. Before we get to the fun stuff about this, I have to mention one of the most vital preps I feel is so important. I love this company, love what they're doing. This is amazing for preppers out there. Jace Medical, check them out. Links in the description below. Coupon code asymmetrical10. Prescription antibiotics and a whole bunch of other prescription meds that you can get from their doctors shipped to you. This is, I think, probably more important than all this cool guy stuff. This stuff's fun and we're going to talk about it, but you gotta go check out Jace. Please. Your life is important to me and I want you guys to be able to survive. This is so vital. Let's get to the good stuff, shall we? AR-15 and modifications that maybe you should think about doing. I'm not telling you what to do. It's very mission specific. It is AO specific. Your area of operations, where you live, different modifications for different environments. But I'm going to talk about some modifications I think are a good thing for the average person out there, for most people. What should you do to your AR-15 to make it more capable? One quick note, you can really help out channels like me and other channels get out the word and to defeat and or bypass the algorithm by subscribing, hitting that thumbs up, commenting, sharing the videos. Very important. Do it for everybody out there that they want to keep down. They don't want our voices heard, so it's very important. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share the videos. An AR-15 will not do everything, of course not. It has limitations. Let's get into what I think would be good modifications for the average AR owner. First off, sling. Get a good quality sling. It's vital and it's not fancy, it's not flashy, but you need a good sling. I like the Condor Speedy slings. They work great. They've worked great for me for a long time now. Never had any issues with them whatsoever. Speaking of Condor, link in the description below. Save yourself some money, coupon code AP15. Go check out their stuff. They're a lot better now. They're really up in their game. They're putting out good stuff. So please go check them out. Save yourself some money on some good quality tactical gear. It's not about spending all the money. It's about getting good stuff that will work for you and function the way you need it to. The next thing I would recommend is an optic, good quality optic. This is a low power variable optic. It's a Vortex 1:6. This also has a True Glow micro dot on top because of the way I use this rifle. I got a comment a little bit back, instinctual shooting, that's a misnomer or a whatever, I forget what they said. No, it's not. It's very real, but it's for very close in. You're not going to instinctual shoot past maybe like 10 yards. It's that really close in. So you bring the rifle up like this. I sight down the plane of the barrel and the rail. Now you got to practice, of course. You got to get good at it and know where to hold to hit where. It's all practice. I practice a lot and I'm fairly effective with it. So that's my sighting plane for instinctual shooting. Then if it's a little bit further out or I want to use my red dot, all I got to do is roll the rifle over. My red dot is immediately in my direct plane of view. Then if I want to shoot a further distance, all I got to do is drop my head and use my magnified optic. Now some people will say I do not have iron sights on this rifle. True, I do not. Because backup iron sights with this setup, you would have to remove the low power variable optic to even use your backup iron sights. which you can do. You can get quick disconnects. This isn't the best system I have here. I can get the little throw levers, pop it off. True, backup irons are not a bad thing, of course not. You might want to think about having backup irons, but this setup works for me. These are very reliable optics. Can they break? Can they go down? Sure, anything can happen. I could die in the first second of whatever is going on also. A good quality optic. I like the low power variable optics. I also like the primary arms fixed 3-power optics, and maybe or an ACOG, a fixed 3 or 4-power optic, works in conjunction with either a microdot or irons. 4-power isn't necessarily the best thing to use in a CQB environment. So you need options, and as preppers and as modern Minutemen out there, whatever you feel you are, it's good to have options. So I would suggest Sling, of course, good quality optic and or optics and or iron sights. Another thing I feel is very important is an ambidextrous charging handle. This is the Raptor charging handle. I really like it. It's my favorite charging handle so far. It's fully ambidextrous and it functions really well. Another thing you might want to do is change out your buttstock. This isn't like super vital necessarily. Any buttstock that comes with an AR will function just fine. I like these Mission First Tactical Minimalist stocks because they weigh like 4 ounces. And people will say this little lever here, down here, this arm here will break off. Well, I've used it in a lot of situations. I've butt stroked, I've hammered, I've used it as a hook to grab onto things. I've used this rifle and this stock in so many applications over so many years and had 0 issues. So can it break? Sure, possibly. But even if that little arm right here breaks off, it's still gonna function as a stock. I want it because it's lightweight, it's durable, and I like how they function. And some people say the snags on things. I haven't found that to be the case yet. Maybe once it snagged on something. No big deal. Another thing I feel is very important, the stock AR-15 grip angle sucks. This Bravo company, I forget, I think it's a Mod 3 grip, is awesome neutral grip angle. Why is grip angle important? Well, when you are out patrolling for long periods of time or holding your rifle like this, see where my wrist is? Well, on a standard AR grip, my wrist would be more bent like that. It's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable over long periods of time. And when you bring the rifle up, if you have more of an angle there, it causes you to kind of instinctually want to raise your elbow out, which back in the day when that grip came out, that was the shooting style. That's how they told you to shoot. Well, I don't want to have my arm out here, my wing out here, providing more for somebody to see, to identify, or to shoot at. I want it nice and tucked in. Also, when it's tucked in, it's protecting my vitals. I'd rather get shot in the arm than in my vitals. So that's something to be said about it also. Love Bravo company grips. As you see here, I got the vert grip also, which is something you might want to think about. Is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. In a CQB environment, if somebody grabs my rifle, the barrel of my rifle, which I should never let them do, that provides me a little more leverage point to jerk the rifle back to maintain control of my rifle. And I just like the way they feel. I just like them. You don't need some big long grip. Now I see people, you see how I'm holding my grip, kind of a modified C-clamp. Some people hold it like this. Well, holding it like that makes the rifle wobble. It's not the way you use a vert grip. Thus, you don't need a long vert grip. As you see, this is a M-LOK rail. Do you need a rail? No, you don't need a rail. I would take an optic, a grip, and a sling, and a tack light over a rail any day. Because the rail, it does offer some capabilities. It has quick disconnect locations for slings, which is nice. It provides more mounting locations, but it's not the first thing I would spend money on. It looks cool and a lot of people love doing that, but it's not super important. The next thing though I would recommend is a good flash hider. Here's a good flash hider. Yankee Hill & Machine flash hider, because you want to reduce your flash signature. Now, if you want to go suppressor route, great. Suppressor works much more effectively than this at eliminating flash. That's really the primary reason why suppressors are used on 5.56 rifles, because the round is supersonic anyway. It does quiet it down a little bit for you, maybe kind of mask your location a tiny bit, but its flash suppression is where it's king. And if I wanted to go through all the hassle, paperwork, stuff like that, money to get a suppressor, then I would recommend it, sure, if you want to do that. If not, just get a good quality flash suppressor. Tack light is important because you may be operating at night. Most people don't have nods, don't have thermal, so tack light, it is what it is. I feel it's a needed item. Those pretty much are the items that I would recommend. Some bonus items I would recommend maybe is a good quality bolt carrier group, upgrading your bolt carrier group. This is a fail zero bolt carrier group. Here, let me show it to you really quick. Another thing I like is extended takedown pins. It makes it real easy to take it down. That's my fail zero bolt carrier group. Let me get it in focus for you guys. There you go, fail zero bolt carrier group. Now, is it the end all be all? No, it's not. It can still fail. But in conjunction with that, I put in one-piece gas rings. I like one-piece gas rings because I feel there's less chance of failure, and it's what I like to do. I swap out all my gas rings for one-piece gas rings. Other little nice things you could do are these extended takedown pins, so it makes it easier to break your rifle down. The BAD lever, battery assist device lever, if you like it. Some people like sticking with just the standard manual at arms, because in case your rifle goes down, you lose it, whatever, and you get a battlefield pickup or whatever happens to be, or you borrow your buddy's rifle, it's always the same. True, but if you're highly trained, you can recognize the differences between the rifles, and you can know that you need to go back to standard manual at arms. Why would you have a BAD lever? Well, a BAD lever, well, in a two-way range, when bullets are flying my way, I want to have every option that enables me, every microsecond counts. So it speeds up the manual at arms. Okay, if I'm shooting like this, rifle goes dry, what do? I reload, right? I come down, I reload, I put in a new mag, and then what I would have to do normally is this hand would have to come up here to send the bolt forward. Gross movement. You don't want to use your fingertips. Gross movement. Slap the side. And then the hand can come forward, and then you can bring the rifle up. Okay, well, with a bad lever, I put the mag in, my hand can immediately come up there, come up forward, because my trigger finger can activate the BAD lever, battery assist device lever, sending the bolt forward, giving me a tiny little edge. Of just speeds the manual arms up slightly so that I can be a little more effective. I like them personally. I think it's a good option, but it's not something you need to do. Do you need a $2,000 or $3,000 AR? No, you do not. You can get by with, what, $500 PSA? Will it work? Sure, it probably will. Now, people that really want to do this and or think they might have to do it as a full-time gig someday when the world falls apart may want a little bit better quality than that. But it is a good starting point. You can get that, and then you can start modifying yourself, upgrading the components as you can afford and as you desire to do so. With all that said, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.